To undertake the journey that led to her rebirth and eternal life, Nefertari needed the protection of various divinities also represented in the pillars of the chamber. The Canid god Anubis and other protective goddesses, such as Isis, who offers her an Ankh symbol. Images representing the first phase of the Queen's journey to the afterlife appear on the side walls of the chamber. They depict the portals and caverns she had to navigate. To be allowed through, she has had to demonstrate that she knows the names of the portal's guardians. The names are written out to help her. Journeying toward day. After completing her underworld tour, Nefertari ascended to the upper level via a stairway. It is a double staircase, with one side for the descent and the other for the ascent of the dead Queen's spirit. She proceeds to the final stages of her regeneration in the rooms closest to the entrance. The decoration on the walls of the stairway reflects the journey from beyond the grave. After completing her underworld tour, Nefertari ascended to the upper level via a stairway. At the bottom appears the sister of Osiris, Nephthys, kneeling over the hieroglyphic sign for gold, symbolizing the unalterable metal with which divine flesh, now including that of the deceased queen, was made. Above appears the Canid god Anubis, guarding the tomb. Above Anubis is the cartouche on which the Queen's name is inscribed. It is protected by a great winged cobra, and to the right of this by the goddess Mut, who also has her wings spread out. Next are the goddesses Nephthys and Isis, seated on thrones. Standing before them is a depiction of Nefertari making offerings to Nephthys, Isis, and Mut, as she requests their help in her ongoing journey. Truth and balance. Behind the goddesses, Nephthys and Isis, seated on their thrones, is the winged goddess Mut, protecting the cartouche that bears the Queen's name. Mut was a very important divinity in Egypt, embodying the order and justice needed for the earth and the cosmos to function correctly.
Her journey, Nefertari presents the goddesses with vessels of wine, a drink linked to the annual flooding of the Nile because of the reddish sediments it carried, and with rejuvenation. The large offering table was laden with the food and drink that the deceased and the gods would need to live in the afterlife. The stairway leads to a vestibule that Nefertari passes through to reach the adjoining room beyond the west wall. To do this, she crosses the portal protected by the vulture goddess Nekhbet, patroness of Upper Egypt in the south, a divinity closely linked to the queen who is also present in Nefertari's protective headdress that she wears in all the scenes of the tomb. It is in the vestibule that the nocturnal journey transitions to the diurnal journey. Nefertari passes in front of Selket and Neith, depicted on the side walls. In the company of the goddess Isis, Nefertari approaches the scarab-headed god Khepri, an allegory of the sun in its daily birth at dawn, and also linked to her journey toward rebirth. To the right of the doorway are Hathor, in her form of mistress or goddess of the west, the area containing the royal tombs on the west bank of the Nile, and Re-Horakhti, the morning sun, with the head of a falcon. The entire space is protected by a frieze of cobras and ostrich feathers, symbol of Mut. An unnamed genie kneeling on the first lintel stops evil from entering and holds two circles incorporating the Ujat, or Eye of Horus, son of Osiris, a protective symbol believed to impart good health. The vulture depicted on the other lintel embodies the goddess Nekhbet with outspread wings. It holds in each of its claws the Shen symbol, a knotted ring with no beginning or end. The Shen was seen as a powerful amulet believed to offer eternal protection. Water and sky. The black stripe at the base of the walls symbolizes the black earth of Egypt that emerged from the primordial waters. This stripe contrasts dramatically with the stars on a blue background that cover the entire ceiling of Nefertari's tomb and evoke the dome of the sky. God. From the vestibule, the queen passes to the adjoining room, unaccompanied by any god. The most critical stages of the rebirth process occur in this room. Once complete, she exits through the same door to enter the antechamber. This annex is also divided into two zones: the northwest half, the domain of Osiris, and the southeast half, the domain of the sun. The god Thoth. Nefertari stands before Thoth, god of writing and wisdom, depicted on a throne with the head of an ibis. In his right hand, Thoth holds the sacred Was scepter, with a forked base and topped with the head of a mythical animal. In his left hand, he has an Ankh symbol. In front of Thoth is a stand with a scribe's palette and a frog. The division is determined by the back-to-back figures of Osiris, with green skin, and Atum, the setting sun. In this room, the queen makes offerings to various gods: Ptah, to whom she offers textiles so that she will be provided with the clothes she'll need in her afterlife; Thoth, who will give her the knowledge contained in speech and writing; and Atum. Perhaps the most vital panel of the whole sequence depicts a single green-skinned ram god in the form of a mummy. The figure combines the two divinities involved in the queen's rebirth: Osiris, expressed through the green skin, and Re, represented by the solar disk on its head. A hieroglyphic text confirms this identification. Osiris rests in Re, and it is Re who rests in Osiris. Less than 100 years, their influence lasted centuries. Osiris and Atum. Nefertari, holding a Sekhem scepter, consecrates the offerings she presents to the god Osiris, left, and Atum, the evening sun, right. Cows and oars. A representation of a spell in the Book of the Dead, this panel depicts 7 divine cows and a bull. The queen would receive food from these when she was reborn. The oars in the bottom strip point eastward and are named after the 4 cardinal points. End of her ascent, Nefertari is almost ready to merge with Re. She arrives in the antechamber and prepares to go forth by day. The significance of this moment is explained in spell 17 of the Book of the Dead, inscribed in the chamber. It includes the line, "Beginning of the praises and invocations to leave the glorious necropolis and to enter it, and in the beautiful west to go out into the light of day." The paintings show the queen already reborn, playing Senet, a board game linked to death, and transfigured in the form of Ba, one of the immaterial elements that form the soul. Her bird form with a human head enables the Ba to fly out of the tomb during the day and return to rest and feed inside at night. The queen in mummified form lies on a bed. She is flanked by Isis at her feet and Nephthys at her head, both in the form of kites. Nefertari also worships the bird Bennu, a solar emblem of death and rebirth. With the stages of her nocturnal journey complete, Nefertari exits through the tomb door to appear the same as her father, Re. The favorite game in the afterlife. Nefertari plays a game of Senet while seated inside a booth made of reeds bound together at the corners. As is typical in funerary paintings, her opponent is not depicted. In front of the booth stands Nefertari's Ba, a creature with a bird's body and the queen's facial features. The background of the booth and the cartouche are yellow, an emblem of immortality and the solar disk. In the upper part of the wall is a depiction of Nefertari's mummy lying inert on a bed with lion's paws. Her face is that of the god Osiris, lord of the underworld. Nefertari is guarded by the powerful goddesses Isis at right, the wife of Osiris, and Nephthys at left, his sister. Both are represented in the form of kites and raptors associated with resurrection.